Welcome to another episode of Wisdom Wednesday, where we invite different expert guest speakers to come onto our platform and share with you their wisdom. Today, we're going to talk about a very important subject. It is one of the points that we discuss a lot in our group. What am I talking about? Relationship. And as we know, as human, we have two energies in our body. One is masculine, the other one is feminine. And often we don't understand how it is at play. What is the difference? And some people may have to ask is that, hey, isn't it only men have masculine energy and female have feminine energy? And today I have an expert here to share with you those ideas and answer all your questions. If you are live on our Facebook group today, feel free to drop down your comment. I'll be monitoring that. So our guest speaker today is Anita. Hi, Anita. Thank you so much for joining our platform today.
Thank you for having me, and thanks to anyone and everyone who's watching, whether live or on the playback. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you.
So please tell us little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, okay. So I like to call myself, or I call myself, a human behavior expert. And what I do is I work with human beings, whoever comes to me and wants to basically understand more about their daily, thinkings and feelings. So what I do is I work with people to help them to understand the quality of the self-talk and the quality of the judgment that they have in running in their mind. So, we're going to talk a lot here about relationships. And what I would do is I work with people. We work on the relationship with self first, with the voice in our head, in order so that our relationships externally can improve, can be healthier.
That is so true because I think that a lot of us don't understand what we want, what our boundary is, what our value, and what dominate us in our body. Because if we don't understand that, we keep trying to do the same thing and hoping for a different outcome. And it is one of the reasons I love our topic today, which is feminine and masculine energy. So tell us a little bit more about what are the differences, and is it different amounts men and women?
Yeah, really great topic, and thank you for letting me share this with everyone here today. So the way that I talk about it, and it's quite widely out there these days now, is that masculine and feminine energies and traits is less about whether you're a man or a woman, and more about the energies and traits that are available to us as a human being. So just because you were born as a man, or just because you were born as a woman, it doesn't automatically mean that you are just going to be a masculine man or a feminine woman. So actually what happens to us is it's a kind of formation through our childhood years. So if I'm a man and I grow up in an environment where it's, quite feminine, I learn the traits to be more feminine. My mum's very nurturing, maybe very, very loving. I grow up in a family where I have lots of feminine sisters, let's say. My dad even may be more in his feminine energy. I, as a man, may potentially grow up to embody those feminine, traits, because that's what I've learned. We don't often really, we're not really run by our biology as much as we are by our mind. So if our mind is taking in the environment of being more feminine, then that's what I'm going to take on. Same with a woman. If a woman is brought up in an environment where there's a lot of masculine energy, her dad's masculine, her mum's masculine, her mum's very independent. She's, had a hard life. She's had to, look after herself. She does a lot, she does all of the work. She goes out, she earns the money. She does all of the cleaning in the house. She's strong. She's independent. She's a woman, but they're masculine energies for survival. Her daughter is going to look at that and potentially mirror those traits. That's all she knows. She doesn't see any much feminine going on. She sees a woman that needs to be in her masculine in order to survive. So, it doesn't matter what we're born into in terms of our body parts. It's what we watch as we grow up. Yeah. And it might be that we watch a really strong, mum in her masculine, but we may go, actually, I don't want to be as masculine as my mum. So I'm going to be more in my feminine energy. Same with as I talk about with a man, he may have grown up in a very feminine environment and gone as well, I don't want to be feminine because my dad's a bit weak, so actually I'm going to choose masculine. So it's really important to see that we are watching and we are learning from the environment that we grow up in, and we are choosing whether it's going to be more beneficial for us to be more in our feminine or more in our masculine.
That is correct because, like, I look at myself, and to be honest, I think that I'm looking at my mom a lot because she is quite strong. Even that she have a lot of feminine energy, like being the housewife and all of that. But I do see that masculine in her, and that's what I actually brought up with, to be someone that who's quite independent, doesn't ask for help a lot, and no matter what I'm going through, I will still stay in my masculine. And when it comes to my relationship, it is because of that trait I took up the responsibility that I believe that I have, and I took up that role of being the masculine in my past relationship. And it come out, the result was that my partner actually went through, my ex-husband went through depression. I didn't even know about it because all I know was that I have to fight for the family. I have to put food on the table. So I put his energy behind and not really realizing it. And internally, I will say to myself, why doesn't he love me? Why doesn't he do this? Why doesn't he do all of that? It is my masculine energy speaking rather than my feminine of being listening and understanding what's going on around me, isn't it?
Yeah, I love that. And Martha, can I ask you, so in your past
Mm,
relationship, was your partner, was he a man in his
man,
masculine, in his feminine, or
yes.
what, a man, and feminine or masculine man, would you say?
I have to say, when we first going out together, he probably does show more feminine energy, being very caring and understanding, but he will have traits that where he get so protective that actually scares me. And I think that he doesn't like, I think as a man, he is a masculine guy, even that I'm attracted to the feminine energy side.
Yeah, got you. Because it can be quite common, when one of us, is more in the masculine or feminine,
Mm,
then we attract or we get together with someone that's more the opposite of us.
mm,
So it's very common that I see, some of my, my clients or my friends, they may be, women who are quite in their masculine, so they will tend to date guys who are a little bit more in their feminine, because we come to
mm,
balance each other out a bit more.
mm,
So,
mm,
it can be the other way around as well. So a very feminine woman might get together with a very masculine man. And
mm,
some people are just more balanced. Yeah, I'm
mm.
more balanced in my feminine and masculine, and my partner may be more balanced in my feminine. But we're often looking for something to complete us. We
Yes.
don't have as much of the masculine or feminine, so we're going to date someone who's got more than us. And it doesn't matter whether it's the man or the woman.
Mm,
We
mm,
don't need to be the man or the woman to be the
mm.
masculine or feminine. It's either one. Looking for what's missing in us and finding it in the other. Very common.
I hear you. I hear you. So, how do ones actually understand the dominating energy we have? Because for me, when I was like fighting for my life in my last 19 years of abusive marriage, I pretty much took the role of being masculine because I have to fight for it. And when I'm with my current partner now, I starting to notice that I was using too much of my masculine energy, and I started to link in back into my feminine energy. So for post people who are not self-aware and doesn't know how to do it, so how do we actually determine our dominate energy?
So it's like, if we're not aware of it, firstly, it's about becoming aware. And
Mm,
people go, well, how do you become aware? I mean, ultimately, how we become aware is we start to watch ourselves, and the more information we have, such as this call, going and reading about it, working with a therapist, working with a coach, however you need to do it, the first point of call is bringing awareness to ourselves, because we can't
mm,
change what we can't see.
yes.
So it's really important that people, if they're not sure, go and get yourself some help. Yeah, go and sit with an
Yes.
expert who's going to help you to guide you. And some of the things that I do with clients is I have a test, for example, that I get people to do. And the test will be, there's a list of feminine traits and there's a list of masculine traits. And the feminine traits are going to be, you know, things like being nurturing, being more on the chaotic side, you know, maybe not being that great with timekeeping, being very loving. The masculine side may be the strength, the structure, control. So we've got all these words, and there's a list, 2 lists of these words, and you go through and you tick the word that you most strongly resonate with. Is it chaos or is it structure? And you go, oh, I'm more chaotic, that's more feminine. Or you're more structure, that's a more masculine trait. So we go through this list and they tick off, you know, and by the end of it, you kind of score it up and you go, oh yeah, I can see I'm more on the feminine, or I'm more on the masculine, or I'm quite balanced. And that, you know, in itself is a very quick indicator for yourself of what you're doing more of, masculine, feminine. So that's a quick overview. You might want to then go start looking into, let me look at my mum and my dad. Look at my upbringing. Who was I brought up around? And then start to analyze your parents. Oh yeah, mum was really feminine. She was very chaotic. She was always late. And what did I do with that? I either copied her or I went structure. I'm a woman, but I went masculine in the face of my mum's chaos. So it's like we become our own investigators of our own past and our own current, you know, how we are currently, and the past, what brought us to the way that we are currently. So we start to watch, you know, watch our own behaviors. And you know, this is the work. It's like this is the work of self-development is self-awareness, starting to bring awareness to it. And then once we can start to really bring that awareness at great depth, then we can start to ask ourselves the question, is it fully serving me to be this structured, to be this chaotic? And you might go, yes, it serves me great. Perfect. Don't need to change anything. Or we might go, actually, I need some flexibility here. This is okay. This is fine. I'm happy with these. But maybe I could do with a little bit more structure in my life. Maybe the chaos that I learned growing up means that I'm late to all my meetings. You know, people get really annoyed with me. I'm judging myself because I'm 2 hours late for everything. Maybe it would help to have a bit more order, to have a bit more structure. Maybe I need to lean a bit more into that masculine energy.
That is a very good indication. Like I'll love for you to share that. How do we actually come to you in doing that test? I think that will be a very interesting fact for all of us. We'll put it into the show note later to actually let people know how to actually reach you. So next question that I have for you is about the impact on relationship. Like I mentioned earlier, with my past marriage, I noticed that my masculine energy have brought me into the state that I completely ignore my partner's true feelings and what he needs. And I'm not saying that it is for him to have the excuse to abuse me. It's not about that. It is about understanding what what a relationship's like and how to balance a relationship. So on a self-reflection, I look back into the impact of my masculine energy have affect in my past relationship. I noticed that what it turned me to be. It turned me to be a very independent, very confident, very don't care, that kind of person. And I pretty much live in my own bubble, in the emptiness, in the loneliness, and in despair. And this is a very vulnerable share from me. And I know that a lot of women who have that awareness will actually feel, oh, wow, that resonates with me because I'm exactly feeling that. I feel like his mom rather than his partner. And that's what brought me thinking in my current relationship, I completely changed my action to actually knowing that I need to be in my feminine energy more and not being weaker. Okay. A lot of women say, like, you know, feminists, we need to be strong and all of that. It's not about that. It's more about understanding that let him be the man, let him be the hunter. I would love for you to share with us this view about the impact on relationship.
Yeah, for sure. Can I just ask you, Martha, thank you for sharing that vulnerable share there. And I really want to maybe understand, what do you think took you into that relationship where you took on that role as the mother? Like what do you see happen there? What made you do that?
because I feel like that he wasn't putting his part. He wasn't doing what a husband should do. He wasn't contributing. So I end up, I think a lot of women will say, I know what she's talking about. It's like, oh, he can't do it right. I may as well do it myself. I mean, isn't it? We all went into that stage of, I just do it myself instead of giving him a chance to actually be the man that we want.
Yeah, absolutely. And the truth is, and this is not said, in any way of any judgment, but you know, if a man, if someone hasn't learned how to be a certain way, then it's going to be harder for them. So as women, we need to stop having expectations of men to be a certain way. The more that we can accept who we're with, if we're choosing to be with them, we're choosing to be with them. Accept that. And if you don't like it, don't be with them. But what we
Yes.
want is we have these expectations and we want them to be different, and we pain ourselves with that. So it's like, if they're not capable, don't be with them. Find someone that you really want. But if you're staying there, then can you accept what you've chosen? Because that's it. Our greatest torture is in non-acceptance. And if we're not accepting them and we want them to be different, we got to have a look at what we're not accepting within ourselves. Because anything we don't accept within ourselves, we project out there, and we try to change people because really we want to change ourselves because we want to feel better. So we change them and hope they're going to make us feel better. It's like, cut out
Yes.
the middleman, make yourself feel better, and be okay with the choice that you've made of this man that may be a little bit feminine and he hasn't learned to be masculine. Maybe we're a bit more masculine and we can help him rather than telling him he's useless and he's a useless
Yeah.
man. It's like, here you go, I've got the masculine, let me help you be a bit more masculine because I know how to do it. Maybe you can help me be more feminine. you know so I
Oh,
think
I
that's
love
one
that.
of the biggest things. Yeah, one of the biggest things. I've just been listening to a podcast about this, which we as women have got to stop putting men down. It's not going to make them better. We are
Yes.
not going to help men get better by judging them. We got to help them, because all I see is women saying that men are useless, there's no good men in the world, and men saying they're useless and there's no good men in. Where's the resolution to that?
Yeah.
It's not happening. We're not getting healthier men by putting them down. We've got to stop judging ourselves and judging men and hoping that that's going to make the world a better place. Let's love ourselves, have compassion for ourselves, for them, for all of the traumas that we've grown up with, all of the experiences that have messed us up, and let's heal together. Together, not expecting you to be, because you're a man, you should be a hunter gatherer. Well, he wasn't born into a family where he was a hunter gatherer. So how does he know how to hunt and gather? He's been nurtured by his mum, He's not just got an instinct in him to go and kill animals because he's been born with a penis, So we've got it all wrong as we, put each other down. It's not the way forward. It's not improving us. So let's
Oh,
find a different way to help the world change.
oh, can I just give a little cheer with that? Thank you. It's so true. I see so many women's group. They just bash men down like there's no tomorrow. And to
Yeah,
me, that's just coming from hate, from trauma and insecurity,
yeah,
plus fear.
yeah,
Because if you're
yeah.
content with what you are acknowledged with what you're doing, and you're aware of your action, you won't do that. I often say to
Mm.
people that in relationship, we don't if we don't have expectation, that's actually making us feeling happier. What instead of what we should have is requirement and boundary. It's not expectation. It's what you're willing to accept, what you can accept, and what are you willing to work on. Instead of having expectation of this person must bring me A, B, C, D, E, that's not going to work. Even your own child won't do that. How could you expect a man boarding up from a completely different world to do exactly what you're told? Even my cat don't do it. Okay, I raise her from the from a baby. Even she doesn't do that. How do you expect a human being to do that? And that's what I find, that why a lot of us who are in a bad situation, in a bad relationship, is because we don't understand the basic human needs, that basic human understanding of don't expect but have requirement and boundary. That's the huge difference on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. You know what I like to say? I say to my clients is make a list of everything you want in a partner and become that list yourself first. Because most people, they list the expectations of what they want in a man, and then I go, how much of that is you? And they ain't, they won't sit there and say that that's actually fully me. So it's like, who is your list that you really want? It's ourselves. The list we make of what we want in someone is actually what's missing within us. And we kind of pretend it may not be, but because why do we want them to be like that? Because we want to feel better. That's all we want as humans, is to feel better. And
Yes.
it's like, if that man isn't making me feel better, it must be their fault. But it was like, you felt shit before you got together with them. So it was never their job to complete you or make you feel better. And this is said with complete compassion and love for all of us, just wanting, hoping that there's some delusion out there of some fairy tale that's going to save us. And that's the problem, because we it lives so nicely in our imagination and on the films. We just get disappointment in a relationship because it was so much better in our head. Sometimes I say, just keep living it in your head.
I really love
It's
our
only going to be there.
conversation. It is so like it is so honest. It is the frontal shoe. And let me just warn all of you out there, not everyone is willing to listen to the truth. Okay. And it's okay.
I know.
Everyone come
Yeah.
into a right time of knowing that, hey, maybe it is a time to actually do something different to our life, because I can see why that I'm unhappy, why that I'm not satisfied, why I'm not being appreciated. It's you are
Yeah.
completely right there, Anita. It's because of our expectation. It's like a woo-woo. It's something that I can't even achieve myself, but I want the next person, my partner and someone else, to fulfill that for me. Isn't that what I want in a relationship? And I'm like, depending on how much pain you want to go through, that's the different, because you're going to be constantly disappointed, isn't it? And that's then
Yeah.
why we wanted to share a life with someone that who would give us complete, like, that disappointment, isn't it? It is
Yeah.
sad. Rather than knowing that,
Yeah.
hey, this is what I want in there, and guess what? I worked it out. I can do those actions. So I'm someone that who walk my walk and do my talk, and that's the difference. You vibrate at a different level. That's why that you're starting to see the men that you attract, the partner that you attract will be different. Man or female, doesn't matter. It's about your own vibration and knowing what you want. So you stop entertaining those people who are not
Yeah.
meeting your requirement, not expectation.
Yeah.
That's a huge
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah. And the thing is, them, after what you're saying there as well, it's the more that we heal within ourselves, the more we meet a healed person. The more unhealed we are with our expectations and requirements and all the rest of it, the more we just meet the person at the same level of us. But we think we're often better than them. But if we're fighting them, what we're not seeing is it's two people on the same level that are unhealed. We bring our traumas together and we bash traumas. We bash our childhoods together, not our current situation. The more work we do, the more healed we are, the more we meet ourselves in another human being that's healed as well. So if people are, and this is said with complete love, but if there's toxic relationships, if there's stuff playing out, it's two people, it's not just one. And if you're
Mm,
staying in it, learn the lessons from it if that's what you want to do, rather than rejecting it. You're staying in it, take the lessons for what they are. If you're walking away, then you're showing that you're ready for something different and you're ready for change. But if you're staying in it, stay in it and learn about yourself in it. Yeah,
mm,
people can grow and heal together. I coach many couples, and I can
mm,
tell you, I have never coached two people where I've gone, either of them are toxic. Even
mm,
if someone comes into coaching, goes to me, he's a pain in the ass, he's this, he's that, I meet him, I don't see what they're explaining. And then when you bring them together, all I see is two very similar people on the same level, and we grow together through coaching. So when
mm,
I meet people, it's often like that I don't see what they describe. I
mm.
see their childhood traumas clashing each other, but my experience of them is often not what I hear from that person. I just hear their projection. And when they come together, they clash each other. So
Oh, I
it's,
hear
yeah.
you so well. Honestly, we could have this discussion forever because it is something that I see in my group a lot, that people
Yeah.
are not understanding where they're at and they're feeling heartbroken, they're feeling betrayal. It is true,
Mm.
but if we make that decision to stay, we have to look at what are we learning from this. Instead of bashing ourselves, we need to know what is the opportunity for us in here. And definitely having someone like Anita to actually guide you through the process to find what you want is quite important. If you are stuck in your relationship, if you are stuck in your awareness of who you are, definitely reach out and have a chat with Anita here. Anita, we have such a great conversation. I love to invite you to come back to do a full webinar with us and to teach us more about understanding of our awareness, what we need and what we want. Would that be a possibility?
Of course, I'm here anytime. I'd love to do that, of course. Yeah. I'm
That it
I'm
will
I'm
be
in. I'm in.
That would be amazing. So everyone watch out onto our space on Knowledge is Power Thursday. I will have Anita to come back to share with us more about relationship and understanding about our awareness. Remember, a relationship is there to help us to make happy memories. It is there to help us grow. It is not there to drag us in despair. It is not there to make you cry. If you're not in a happy relationship, it is time for you to realize what BS belief system is holding you back so you can achieve to be this person you wanted to be. So thank you, Anita, once again for joining us today. It has been such a great pleasure talking to you.
And you too. Thanks for inviting me. I'm very glad to have met you.
Thank you, everyone, for watching our episode today or listening to us on our podcast. We look forward to see you on next week's Wisdom Wednesday. Have a wonderful afternoon.